well, let's do a quick little recap of where we are at with the game. Currently, well, we were doing good. We picked up one of our objective tokens, very close to picking up a second one. Wanda very heroically came swinging through here, smashed open the door. Unfortunately, she got stuck here and was killed by a couple of the zombies. We also lost Phil, Rick, who had been positioned here in the center of the intersection, was trying to hold off the zombie horde. He was having trouble with his gun. It jammed a couple times. His sights weren't set up properly, and unfortunately, he was killed. So that's sort of where we are at. And okay, over here, a couple of our survivors are hunkered down close to Ned. So basically, these three survivors, they have each other as backup. And when I look at the board right now, we kind of do have a clear path over to this objective token. And it's possible that Doug is going to be able to get in here and grab this objective token. Of course, once he does, man, is he ever going to be jammed up here? We're almost going to need a turn where nothing spawns here so he can duck out. Because right now, if I remember correctly, he's holding a pan. So Amy should be going next, I believe. And it's time to turn things over to Amy. So guys, what do you want Amy to do? Let me get her card up here. Amy has got a glass bottle, which she can't use in reserve, but she's got a machete, and she's got a pistol. So what do we want to do here? Roofcaster, I see your question there about is it better to retreat? Yeah, that's certainly a strategy option for sure. I'm seeing some suggestions here to search and then do some movement. So let's start with that search option. I think that's a good idea. And are you kidding me? Look at this! Look at this! Could this search have happened to a better survivor? Come on. I think, you know what, we needed that little break. We're back on track. So this is the gasoline. And when you get the gasoline, you can combine that with the glass bottles to get the Molotov. All right, so let's do that. Let's get the gasoline here. So anyway, let me just start by combining these. Apologize, I won't be looking at the screen for a couple of turns here. I just have to do this little bit of maintenance here. I don't know what this would be considered. It's a ranged weapon. Okay. And so I'm going to put that here in her reserves for now. So I'm seeing some suggestions to move towards a small room. Darkheart 25 is saying that. Free move north, move west and north. Yeah, I'm seeing that. So let's do that. We're going to have her move up 1. That's her free move. And then she has 2 actions left over. So we'll go 1 more and then 1 again, like so. Of course, the only problem here is she cannot open doors. We have to keep that in mind. She doesn't have a weapon for that. But hopefully someone can get up to her who does have a weapon for that. We'll see. Okay, so that is going to be the end of Amy's turn, and we're going to move on to the next survivor. So the next survivor is going to not be Rick, as he's killed. Is instead going to be Josh. So Josh, remember, he has an additional action. Okay, so he actually has 4 actions to take here. And he's the slippery ability, so he can move through survivors. So what do we want to do with Josh? Math and Carnage says we should go north, west, north, and then open the door. And I'm seeing Captain Future agreeing with that as well. Let's do that. So north, west, north, and open the door. So opening that door is going to be silent because it's the crowbar. And keep in mind with the noise tokens, I know I explained this in the rules section, but the survivors themselves count as a noise token. So right now, this unit here, this area, is creating 2 noise. This one's creating 1 noise, and this one's creating 1 noise. And that's going to wrap up Josh's turn. So now we're moving on to Ned. Oh yeah, thank you. Spawn zombies in the room. Yes, exactly. I'm seeing that now. We're going to spawn the zombies in the room, and they are. Oh, interesting. Sewers located on a tile with at least 1 character will spawn a runner. That's what we've got there. Thanks, guys, for that little reminder. This tile has Survivor on it, so it is going to spawn a runner. This guy is on both this tile and this tile. So, yeah, it looks like we have 1 runner spawning there. And I guess got to make sure that there's no... Oh, look, there's 1 hiding there as well. So that sewer is also going to spawn. Now we've got, oh, and look at this, we got Doug on this tile as well. So this one is going to spawn another runner. That's not so good. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at what you guys are suggesting for Ned. I know there's certainly an incentive here to attack the zombies that are nearby, but I'm worried about breaking things up and having them get separated. So I'm feeling like maybe a better choice is to move Ned, have him go 1, 2, and actually we could do 3, and he gets a free search. So I'm thinking maybe that's the thing to do, honestly, and then at least we're all together as a group to do the fighting and not split the party. I'm seeing Greenlee's concerned about that as well. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3 as a third action. Now I have a free search action. Taking or activating an object is its own kind of action. So it's not in the same section of the rulebook as a search action. So I think I will go ahead and do my free search. It's possible something will spawn here. It's true, but then again, we're getting down in numbers, so we're going to need to try to balance things out by hopefully getting some better weapons. Oh, well, some canned food. Canned food. Ned's kind of happy about that. He's going to throw that in his pan and cook some up. Well, at least it wasn't a zombie, I guess. And don't forget, of course, he has the goalie mask as well, so he can withstand a little bit of punishment. So a can of food for Ned. Actually, Ned's thrilled about that. So we're going to move on from Ned now and go to Doug. Lonely little Doug. Doug is sitting here in this room with his pan. And let's have it, guys. What should we do with Doug? Anyone who's wondering, what this canned food is for, there are certain scenarios that require some of these cards, and they just serve the purpose of that scenario. But as far as I can tell in the rulebook, they never tell you to remove them or put them in based on the scenario, so they always stay in. They do give certain specific instructions about certain items, but canned food they don't. So that one stays in. So sometimes you're gonna pull stuff that's not good, it's not bad, it's just kind of pointless. So Sandalwood99 is saying, let's get the objective and do a search. So Doug is going to go over here. He's going to move for one action. Like, you can even activate your actions on here. That's kind of handy. And then you can pick up the objective. So that's another action. And an objective token means that we're going to get some experience. Wow, one more experience point. He's into the yellow zone as well, which would be actually kind of good. And then for the third action, I guess we will do a search, right? And let's see what he gets. Hopefully not another zombie spawn. Plenty of ammo. Well, he's got plenty of ammo to add to that frying pan of his. But we're halfway done the game, guys. It says here, as long as this card is in your inventory, you may re-roll all ranged actions once with the sawed-offs, shotgun, or Maz shotgun. The new result takes the place of the previous one. So when you roll an attack, if you have one of those weapons, you can do a re-roll, which is, that's really good. Unless it's in the hands of Doug, who's trapped in a building, then it's not so hot. But anyway, we're going to put that into his inventory here. Let's see. I wonder if that's probably an item. And the nice thing about these kind of things is you definitely don't need to have them in your main hands. They kind of go in your reserve, and that's where they belong. So we're giving that to Doug. Maybe if he can meet up with his other friends, which won't happen, he could trade it off. All right, so that's going to be the end of Doug's turn. And that means we're back to our first player, which is Amy. So that ends. I'm seeing some suggestions here. People are saying, doing a search first would be a good idea. And I actually agree with that. It's an excellent idea. Hecubus667 is making that point. We could have done the search first and then used up the rest of our actions. Because, if something spawns during that search, then you want those extra actions to deal with it, right? So thank you, guys. That's a good tip. All right, so here we go. The next thing we have to do is activate all these guys. Now, I don't have any noise tokens on the board. I don't believe we generated any noise here, so I think that's fine. It's going to come down to what we can see. So none of these zombies can see any of the survivors. So that's interesting in and of itself, right? So let's do our attacks. There's none, and now let's do our movements. So I'm going to start over here, and the most noise is being made in this space here. Do we agree? So this guy's going to take an activation, and he moves. Now, because it's a runner, he gets to go again. He would attack if he could. He can't, so instead he moves again. So he goes right there. Now, these guys here, again, the most noise is right here, and that's equal distance this way and this way to them. So these guys would split up. So I'm just going to group these guys together so we don't confuse them. I'm going to move these guys this way and these guys this way. The ones that are here, again, the most noise is this way, so they'll move over here, like so. These guys, same thing. They're going to move towards the most noise, so they'll go here. And we have another runner right here. This runner will go towards the most noise. It would attack if it could. It'll move again instead. And then these guys here are going to move into this spot. Let's see. I'm going to move this guy now. He's going to activate. He sees nothing. He's going to move this direction. These guys here are going to move in this direction as well. And then they would take another activation, and they'll move here. Now, some of you might be wondering, why weren't any of these zombies going after Doug, who's so close to them? Well, there's no line of sight to Doug. He's hidden here around this corner. They can only see into the building this way. And then if they cannot see something, they're going to go to where the most noise is. And each survivor is counted as making noise. So when we shoot guns and we open doors and things, we put these noise tokens on as additional noise. But there's always a sort of base amount of noise being created by the survivors. So right now the most noise was in this space here with 2. And then Ned was making 1 noise in this space, and Doug was making 1 noise here. And I can see in the chat, people are ready to prime that Molotov cocktail. I don't blame you for feeling that way. Okay, let's look at the top space here, and we will see what happens. Hey! Oh, I was going to say there's nothing, but that's the blue zone. It's actually 2 runners. I'd like to see no more runners, if at all possible. That would be great, because those guys are annoying. Now this space here, we have got 4 regular walkers. That is crazy. And then down here, we've got 3 regular walkers. You know what? Seeing walkers doesn't scare me so much right now. I just would like to see no more runners. And then our last space, hey, there's a nice turn of events. 1 walker. So even in the yellow zone, it's not always worse than the blue zone. I think the odds are worse, but sometimes you get lucky. So that does it, and we're going to move the first player token over to Josh, and I'll get that done. And someone asked me, I saw the canned food here. It's not in his hand, so let's do that. Ned's got to have his food, and we're going to go over to Josh here. Boom, 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 boom. There's Josh. So what do we want Josh to do? Remember, he's got the crowbar, he has got the submachine gun, and he's got the rifle. So what do we think? Ruif Castro wants us to attack and move east into the room. I'm definitely going to do that attack. Let's do the attack roll, and then we'll figure out the rest of his turn from there. All right. So we've got a couple weapons to use here, and what would people like to attack with? I think it's a crowbar to the runner. I'm seeing people suggest. So we need a 4+. Let's see how that goes. There's a 6. Okay, so that's great. We're going to take that runner right off, and we're going to give those experience points right now to Josh. And it's a runner. And runners just give you 1 experience point, and we're done. So it would be great to be able to give Amy some experience points, to be honest, because we need to get her up in the yellow zone and have that extra action. And let's see. I'm seeing people saying they want to go in and search. And we'll do that. So we'll do a move in to do a search. It is a chainsaw. It is a chainsaw. So that's pretty nice. So the chainsaw is going to go into Josh's inventory, and I presume we want to swap out the crowbar for the chainsaw. That would be my assumption here. And I'll assume that people are agreeing with that. With the chainsaw, you can take out fatties, which is nice. You can open doors. You can kill zombies. You roll 5 dice, and on 5+, it's a hit. We have 1 action left. Do we want to give... Yeah, someone's saying to do a trade, possibly with Ned. What has Ned got in his hands? He's got that shotgun. So he doesn't have a very good melee weapon. So maybe trading up a weapon would be a good idea at this point. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that as a last action. We'll do a trade. So let me see how this is going to work. I'm going to need to take the crowbar away from Josh, and then I'm going to give that to Ned. So Ned is getting a crowbar, and we'll put that crowbar into his... Oops, that's the ranged weapons. We'll put the crowbar into where he had the pan. All right, and I really think that is probably the ideal trade there for those guys, because at least now we have a crowbar, which is a silent weapon, and he has his and he can open his canned food now as well, right? So it all comes together thematically. That makes the most sense.